This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 888 for the week of Monday, October 13th, 2025. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And my name is Steve.
And on today's show, we have the voice of Flampe, Marianne Bray, joins us once again. Hi. How are you?
I am swell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all are swell. And
like, that's an accomplishment in itself.
It really is. It is.
Swellness.
Mm-hmm.
Mental swellness awareness.
Mentally swell or mentally swole?
Yeah, both don't sound healthy. We also have
we have massive heads, Zach.
That's true. I forgot we have massive heads. Hey, we could always use that image for this week again, Steve. We also have, I guess I could call him TikTok sensation, SAS. We have golfer Gare with us. How's it going, golfer?
It's going great. And speaking of like mental swellness, I had to explain Saw 3 to my wife last night because we watched the first Saw movie, and I was like, let's not go through the rest of the series. This is the only one worth watching. There's the part where she has to relieve brain swelling by cutting a guy's head open without anesthesia.
Oh, yeah.
That's cute.
This is the
Super
One Piece
fun
Podcast.
It's called Trepanation.
You guys are going to kill me. That is the only Saw movie I ever saw.
The third
I
one,
have never saw any of them.
Nice, Marianne. True.
Thank
for
you.
me as well. Yeah. This week, if you like violence, this one's for you. Chapter 1162, God Valley Battle Royale. So yes, this fits into the theme. There's no anime this week, but you're free to watch the Chopper recap special that's online now. And we also have some piece together a little bit later, so look forward to that. Before we get into the show, there's One Piece news. First, New York Comic Con, guys, that happened this weekend. Did you realize? Anyway,
Yes.
I know. I'm
Despite
sure
being on the opposite coast. Yes.
There were two pieces of news. The Elbaf, I guess. What do you want?
The only thing I saw about New York Comic Con this weekend was a wrestling promo that happened in a stage fight.
That one's
still
just
real to them, damn it.
Yeah.
The key art, I think,
Right.
is the term you're looking for, Zach, of the Straw Hats and their Elbaf outfits was revealed at the panel.
AKA color schemes for cosplayers.
Yeah, because I think we still didn't know. I think like Brooke and like Jinbei's we didn't know.
That sounds right.
Maybe Frankie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of what
So-
covers we've seen.
Well, and seeing
also-
it, sometimes the colors for the covers and then the actual anime are slightly different.
Ah.
Mhm.
So it's Yeah.
We've Zach, we've come a long way from having to walk over to Bryant Park to like have some sort of One Piece gathering to just
I know.
those are just a thing at
Yeah.
New York Comic Con now.
Not just a thing, but like a main event. And I saw Ian
Yeah, like
Sinclair was like kind of the MC of that too. Or at
Oh, that's
least
cool.
an MC. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Toei usually has a booth at a lot of these cons now, and usually One Piece is the main focus. Yeah, big inflatable Luffy's.
Yeah, they
but I
had
think
that.
they debuted like
Yeah.
they have like a newer display now. Like it's kind of like a or like an egghead part 2 kind of display where
Aren't all Luffy's inflatable?
Well,
that's a good point.
Rubber is
So let's take a step back. Beyond the inflatable Luffy, they had something from Mercer Labs that was heavily promoted, as far as I know, because I was getting
an
press
art
releases.
installation.
Yeah, it looked very cool. I know we had at least someone that we knew who was there. I think that took pictures of it, and it looked cool. Yeah, it's like an immersive experience sort of thing. I don't know what to compare it to specifically, but it looked very cool. And it looked like a big setup there. I know those, like the New York Comic Con ones, when I used to go more often, they get pretty high tech and giant. So that looked cool. I have nothing to say about it though, because I didn't see it. They also announced the newest batch of dub episodes, though. Which 1134 through 1143, for those who have been very out of the loop, the episodes are now dubbed on Crunchyroll.
Speaking of English dubs, Marianne, is there anything you'd like to promote while you're here?
Oh, not
That is an NDA.
necessarily specifically. The season is still young though, so that may change.
Okay.
Cool.
Keep an ear out for Marianne's voice. Potentially. So the One Piece dub episodes come out in November on Crunchyroll. No longer do you have to scour the Microsoft store, which no longer exists, as far as I know, right? I think we reported on that a few weeks ago. So there's that.
Yeah, hopefully that just means that dub episodes go on Crunchyroll quicker than
I think
we
so.
would have.
Yeah, I'm assuming as much. 1143 is like the one that just aired, right? That's the one you just did the recap for last week, right, Steve?
No.
No? I thought...
Oh, wait. Oh, you're talking about the batch that just came out. Sorry, I thought you were saying what was the last batch that came out.
No, that's the batch that's the one that's coming out.
Sorry, I misheard you. My mistake.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Is there any chance we ever get to the point where it's simuldubbed? I feel like a lot of big shows that have been coming out the past few seasons have been coming out simuldubbed.
With
Marianne.
One Piece, I don't know that that's a super feasible thing to do because there are 10 billion characters in it, and some of whom are from characters we haven't seen in a really long time. So, like, coordinating all of that can be difficult. I believe, and I could be mistaken, that we are equivocally dubbing it like a simuldub, but we're releasing them in batches to make sure that we get everybody there and it polished correctly and all of that. So I don't think a true blue simuldub is gonna happen with One Piece just because of the grand scope of the whole thing.
Makes sense. I would add.
I'm not an authority on this, mind you, but yes.
I would add also, and this might not be the case anymore since One Piece, the anime, has changed so much, but the one thing Toei and One Piece have been known for is really getting down to the wire in, finishing the episodes like days or weeks before sometimes. So I don't know how that compares to the usual simuldub at Crunchyroll. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah.
I will say what it does sometimes mean for us, because I've done some like bits and stuff for some of the more recent episodes, is that you can kind of hear a sort of, we don't have it, the episodes aren't as like clean as you normally would get for recording. So normally when we record, you would have like all of the Japanese dialogue is removed entirely and you just hear what we've recorded in English. But in this case, it's sort of muffled out. So while you're recording, you can still hear like a kind of, and but that's obviously cleared up in the final thing. And I think that's part of the reason why there's a little bit of like a batch.
It'd be funny
delay.
if everyone sounded like the adults from Charlie Brown.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's kind of like trying to, if you were to try to take out the audio yourself and do it like without having the individual elements. That's kind of what it sounds like when we're recording it, but or it has been in the past. But they're able to obviously do that properly for the official releases. So it's a little different, but
interesting. Yeah. I don't know if that's what it would be the case, I guess, currently if you're dubbing them like simuldubs. I say you as if you're personally
I'm not in charge of that at all.
Well, hopefully Emily will be on a future episode because we've been trying to book her, but I know she's busy. But we'll hopefully have her on soon and we could maybe pry her for those questions.
She would definitely know much better.
I think she
than
would.
I.
Emily.
Actor.
Yeah, I mean, as a lowly podcaster, I understand.
Yeah.
So that's what happened at New York Comic Con. There was also a little bit of live action series news. I don't know if we discussed the poster that showed what was it? What was the tagline? I should have had this in front of me. Like the Straw Hats will never are never
the crew is
back.
never coming back or something like that.
Yeah, it's absolutely something.
Yeah.
But we
Laboon was on the poster.
Yeah, we got the first Laboon.
Yeah,
and
who looks sick.
I sent that to my nephew. Laboon's like one of his favorite characters.
And your nephew's correct about that.
Yeah,
top tier character.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we saw Laboon and we saw Crocus, both of whom super impressed by.
They look great.
They both look great. From what we saw, like there were all still images, right? I don't think we saw.
Yeah.
There's a behind the scenes thing with Clive Russell who plays Crocus.
It kind of looks like they're maybe not doing the inside of Laboon's stuff based on some of the images we saw, but
I think that's
we'll
fine.
Find out. Yeah, I mean that part is a little weird, but
it is a little weird.
It's One Piece. It's One Piece though.
This is something I was saying to somebody a long time ago, but I hope the Crocus be funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, I will say, that gag, at least in the anime, my first watch through was the hardest I laughed at anything in the series, I think.
I wonder
it's
if that...
very funny.
I don't know if that gag will work in
no,
live
I don't
action.
Think... They might try it. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I don't know, because that's such a specific, like, making fun of anime sort of, like, tropes kind of thing, too. At least at that time, because you had that Dome sound effect. Anyway, I'm looking forward to those. 2 quick other things, also kind of housekeeping things. The One Piece magazine volume 20 is out now. Technically, I got it the day after we recorded the episode last week with Steven. It's focused on Weekly Shonen Jump, basically, and there's special pages devoted to Shonen Jump covers, including the original cover art and a lot more. And Steven is not going to be in town, I don't think, for the next break, which I believe is next week. So we'll be able to do that afterward, but I will say it's packed with, I could tell, not reading Japanese, that it's packed with a lot of stuff we've never seen before and have been asking for. There's lots of like,
yeah, I would always recommend people go and listen to our episodes about the first 3 One Piece magazines with the interview with Oda that Steven talked about for us.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember. I thought that was all in one magazine, and we broke it up because it was just so packed.
I thought it was a 3-part interview.
3 episodes
across the first 3 magazines.
Okay, you might be right. I don't remember. But there's some cool stuff like rough drafts of some of the Elbaf pages. There's a comic featuring some editors, and also I didn't realize the draw. I think we talked about this last week. The artist for Akana Banashi formerly was an assistant, as well as 2 other series. I don't know the name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither. So we get to hear from them as well. It looks great. I'm very excited to go through that. Plus, I think there's chapters of both the Law and Zoro novels in that. So,
there are
Marianne
Zoro novels?
That's new.
New. Okay. Cool. That's first I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's just him going like, the whole time. It's very short.
Wow.
Yeah, I like swords. So next week, our current game plan is to go through with the good doctor, formerly Dr. Gomez. I need to get her new last name out. And we're gonna be talking about what we've kind of been, referencing for the last few weeks on the show. Just the use of the One Piece flag around the world in protests. Yeah, I think since we last recorded, you could add another like dozen countries to the list that we had previously made. If you want to look, I've already like kind of started teasing out some of the research I've been doing over the last few weeks on this, on our Blue Sky account, but we're hoping to do something in depth and informative and engaging. So look forward to that next week. Unless, for whatever reason we move that back. But that's the plan right now. And last but not least, to support the great folks here, including the great art that Steve does, and the great work that we all do, please subscribe to us on patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. If you subscribe for $12 a month or more, you could join our Sticker of the Month crew. Steve, what's the competition this month? Which sticker?
The October poll just went up on Friday, and it ends this coming Friday as you're listening to this. And your options this week are the Demonio Robin Chernobog style drawing I did years ago, and then your other option is the Emmett artwork that I did for an episode last year. That poll is going to end. I think it ends around 10 a.m. Pacific time this coming Friday. So get those votes in. I haven't looked, but it seemed like Robin was winning last I checked.
Yeah, that's what it
I'm going to
seems.
check right now because I actually still have the tab open. But
I'll say
but
both.
Also, so for those that are already at that on that tier, make sure you get your vote in if you're that invested, or if any of those stickers sound appealing to you, you should join at that tier.
Yeah, so far
anytime this month.
So far, we did the Scopper Gabam was done last month. The Loki,
Sidecar
Life
Loki,
Vest, Sidecar Loki,
Dorian Broggie,
and Dorian Broggie. So yeah, all great Steve art. And also just support Steve and his art generally. SteveYurko.com. I don't know if that's open at the moment. But
it is.
Okay, there you go.
Not much going on there, but it's a site. It'll always be there. I'll continue to pay to have a website because
nice.
I don't trust putting all your artwork on a social media page.
Why not? With that in mind, why don't we get into this week's chapter?
Absolutely.
This is the manga recap for chapter 1162, God Valley Battle Royale. This chapter and all chapters are available at shonenjump.viz.com or mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. Legally free and available wherever you live. Ed, what's going on the cover page this week?
You know, every week when I go to read the chapter, I just go to shonenjump.com and it redirects to the proper page.
Okay, what do you want? And I thought of shonenjump.com was the Japanese site, but maybe
that would
I'm
be
wrong.
.co.jp, but
you know what, Ed, what's going on the cover page?
Yeah, this is Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage Final Volume. Dear Sir Luffy, Wano is once again at peace, and we got sort of triumphant-looking Yamato with the tongue hanging out like Michael Jordan, with bat over shoulder.
Is that what that is?
And a stick and a skewer of Odin in his hand, and we got.
I get it.
They're basically hanging out under that tree, like where by the mountain where the castle is, and we see Momonosuke, Kinemon, and Ulti. Am I missing anything?
No, I think that's everything. This is a pretty simple one. Oh well, don't forget.
Looks like
Yamato has a new cape. So
yeah, it looks like there's cherry blossom petals blowing by in the background, but that's just how it always looks, I think, in the flower capital.
So that to focus on the cape, which is I know what everyone else is thinking about, because I am.
Yeah, no, Yamato's not joining the Marines.
No, but they're the crescent moon, the Kazuki symbol. So moons.
Honestly, I can't see it. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
He got his members only
on the sides of the jacket. Ed. They're there. Closer. Zoom in, enhance. Any thoughts on this besides Kinemon's weird look at Ulti?
He's just giving a side eye to Ulti. He's like, are we sure about this one? That's what I interpreted it as. Yeah,
that's what I interpreted it as too, but I know not everyone has.
He's like, y'all could trust little old me.
Can I come
too? We had that accent for her. Oh my god.
Page 1 conspicuous by his absence here. So the Yamato cover story is over.
Or is it? No,
it's over. No, it's over. That's what finale means.
In brackets of consequence, would this be like a 12th seed in terms of?
Ooh, that's a good question.
If we did a brackets of consequence for all of the cover stories.
Well, this would be a ranking. You're more, I guess, would be more of the question.
What makes a good cover story?
That's a good question.
Talk about like
filling in the world, like how we got a lot with Jinbei. I think is just neat little things about the One Piece world where we kind of just walked around Wano, saw some people that have already gotten beaten up, saw them get beaten up again.
Yeah, fuck who's
Didn't
who.
see the Straw Hat
He sucks.
Jolly Roger back in the Wano capital.
Yeah.
And then we're here now, and it's, I guess the entire culmination of this is like doing the Shogun walk, the Stations of the Cross, if you will, for a shogunate. And then picking up page 1 in Ulti.
I think
like, did we learn anything new other than that?
I think the point of this story arc was just to let's see what Yamato's getting up to. We knew what his plan was, but now we get to actually see it without it taking up valuable manga space.
I mean, it technically did.
It did, but not in a here's a full
yeah.
flashback to Yamato's adventures in Wano.
I mean, Steve, for at least subjectively, I think a good cover story melds both bringing new information into the story that will at one point be, if not crucial, at least like kind of important. But also has some good humorous side, I think, like, and one or two perhaps cool, if not like unexpected things. I mean, we had some unexpected things in this. We talked about Moria to death, so we're not going to do that right now.
Yeah, like that's like probably one of the biggest things coming out of this was the Moria reveal, which is head scratching to say the least.
Yeah.
And there was that wall of all like the
at the end
the mural with all the names, and there were some names we were not familiar with. So I'm guessing
we couldn't see everything in the lanterns with the names.
Yeah, I could only assume those are like little nuggets of I wonder who this could be, but
they could be SBS answers too, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and which is kind of a little disappointing. I will say from the get-go, I think what was working against this cover story is now these happen so soon after the arc relevant to these characters has ended. Like maybe I could be wrong. I know like the Buggy one was pretty like, Buggy was still just in the manga not too long before.
And he comes right back in Logtown. Like that's right after. Yeah.
But I'm thinking like, the CP9 cover story, that was happening during like Shabandi and like Amazon Lily. And
that
that's kind of long.
That's a lame one though, let's be honest. Like, I don't know.
Kaku turned into a giraffe slide for the children. They went bowling. That's like an A tier one for me, right? They had bowling.
Like the ones off the top of my head that I think the most underrated one is Gadatsu's. I really enjoyed that the last time I read it. It's been a while, to be fair.
Well, if we're going to grade these on like what they contribute, I think Gadatsu's might be
low.
Very
yes,
low.
I agree. But it was fun. Like, I think it was just because at that point we were, like loops back into Alabasta. So kind of to go to your point, like to have a little more distance does sometimes feel cooler because it's like, oh, I haven't seen these characters in a long time.
Is that Koza's dad and uncle?
Yeah, they go to Yuba. That's where they
always wanted to meet.
Well, Koza was there too. I mean, I
think one that's never really talked about that I think just hit like every nail on the head and was so good. And something I'm like, damn, I want to see this in the actual story was the Baroque Works cover story.
Absolutely. I agree.
That one is so good.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe people aren't always talking about the cover stories, but that one I think that's like kind of what you strive for there. I just think my issue with this one was like, yeah, we're catching up with characters. And even though it's been 3 years, I guess, 3 years since we've been out of Wano. Maybe because it's the anime too. I feel like, yeah, we just saw these characters, and just going around Wano, just kind of catch up, seeing where they're at now. Yeah, it's fun enough, but I just think like I haven't been longing for these characters yet. So it really didn't hit that for me. I think what the mission statement of this Yamato story was to kind of set up a little bit more lore for Wano with this Kozuki bloodline with Moria potentially, and maybe some of those names that we are not familiar with. But other than that, I just don't think any of the gags are that great. It was charming, I think, Yamato interacting with like
slice of life.
Okiku, like Okiku and Otama, like there's some really like charming drawings there, but I can't remember much from this one. I really
can't either. Yeah.
Who's who?
for a who's on the team now thing, I do really like that Ulti and Page One.
Who's who give a shit?
That
gives a
I
shit.
do.
I like those characters. I really like their designs.
Yeah.
I really like having some of the. Are they ancient Zoans? They're not mythical Zoans. They're ancient Zoans.
No, I think they're just ancient because they're dinosaurs. Yeah, mythical is something else.
But it's nice to have a couple of those on, eventually the Straw Hat Grand Fleet when, one day we have the 10-year-long fight that culminates the entire manga and he has to get everybody in, within one chapter. We're just adding names to the list.
10 years of podcasting. I don't know if I have it in me.
Might be more than that. Steve is contractually obligated to go to the end. That's why.
It's just this one. I think I was always like kind of expecting this to end, and then when it kept going, I was like, all right. And now it ended, and I'm like, yeah, I guess. I didn't feel like it.
That might be the best thing about it.
The penultimate one didn't feel like a big. We're building up to the. This is what we know now. This is the finale. It kind of. I felt like we were just getting more information thrown at us, and then it was over. So
fizzled out.
I mean, I think this one might have hit a little harder if we had like more in between stuff, like another story before this one, and then it's like, oh yeah, Yamato, let's see what they're up to.
Yeah.
But having it right after is kind of like, oh well, okay.
I mean, we had the Germa 66, which I think was all an Egghead, if I recall.
Well, that was crazy because
that was an especially crazy one.
The events of that were coinciding with things that were happening in the manga. It's
Science
Pudding
team.
is captured, and then we see Pudding is captured in the
chapter.
manga.
In that chapter,
Yeah.
I think.
That's right. That's right.
That was very cool.
We were talking about the
wound up
the live action news earlier in this episode. We were talking about that, but it looks like in one of the pictures, Crocus is reading a newspaper where the headline has a thing about the Princess of Arabasta is missing.
Yeah, Princess still missing, which is a good like, hey, let's tie this into what's happening and hint it. It's a hint for the manga readers or the anime watchers.
Crocodile never knew what Vivi looked like.
Right.
Anyway, bring us back.
I think also with the previous cover story too was also, I think that kind of wound up serving more as like, I don't really have time to like get into Vegapunk's backstory, so I'm going to incorporate into this cover story. So it kind of felt hand in hand, which was unique for a cover story.
I agree with you, Steve. I think it is really, and we've said this a lot on the show, so this is nothing new. It's a real shame that these aren't really animated, that these don't really get a time to shine in the anime. And you could really do it in creative ways too. Like, I wonder if the One Piece is going to do it. Like, you could have it as like, an A plot and a B plot in an episode like this. Meanwhile, for a lot of these backstories, the Buggy one is one that strikes me as like really potent. Like,
it's a shame because I just think I think Toei did a great job
with Hachi and Kami, because they show up in Sabati.
Yeah,
I think we roll
with it.
I think we talked about. I think we talked about the issue was just that the main cast is like contracted, and if you have episodes of the anime that don't have them, you're kind of throwing money out the window.
Maybe that's kind of why. I don't know. With the Kobe Helmeppo one, they would have like it would kind of be like sandwiched between the Straw Hats on the ship. I don't know. I always think those episodes were good, and they didn't overstay their welcome. There's only like 2 episodes, and I think especially like the Kobe and Helmeppo one,
that one's fantastic.
It gave Bogart dialogue until this chapter, where I believe he has his first line of dialogue in the manga.
Really?
I mean, those filler episodes are why everyone thinks Bogart is cool.
Yeah, because otherwise Bogart is a guy, but I think also it's a joke.
He also dresses nice.
I mean, it's I don't know, like I maybe now time away from this cover story I might have some fondness for it, but I just nothing in this cover story particularly did it for me.
I think the biggest thing against it was that Oda has had a ton of breaks during this cover story in particular. I think we had the month off.
That's also affected me with the manga too, to say the least.
It definitely, like, I was thinking today, for example, with this chapter, like, you kind of lose the momentum of like the fandom almost when you have frequent breaks as a weekly reader, when you're like really invested weekly.
I mean, I've mentioned this I feel like I mention this every week, but you kind of lost the momentum of the Straw Hat story with this extended flashback.
Well, we'll talk about that, I'm sure, at the end too. But no, I agree. But I think with the cover story here, I would like to give it a chance and read it like in one shot at some point, or just read it as part of a volume. Because I think it probably hurt the whole thing. Because I remember particularly the Who's Who thing that Ed mentioned. That felt like 2/3 of this, and I don't think it was, but it felt lengthy. Like that was like the majority. I don't remember much that happened before that. I'll put it that way. Anyway, so I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because I think when we come off of something that takes too long, in our opinion, on a week-to-week basis, I think we're down on it usually. Sometimes rightfully, but also sometimes I think overly harsh. So I am giving the listeners out there a chance. Like, I don't want to close the door on this cover story necessarily, even though Oda is. Ed, why don't we start the chapter?
Yes. We start off on God Valley, and there's an explosion, and we hear, Rox and St. Garling are locked in combat in the northwest. Send backup. Presumably these are Marines talking? Not sure. We get a helpful little diagram here of
a flashback with a map is a very scary thing.
So Roger is in the middle of the valley, and the Roger pirates are sort of with him, and the Rox pirates are heading in. And we see Rox versus Garling up on the northwest side of the island, and that's near where there's a big treasure chest symbol. But we keep going. We hear, Rox is behind us, the Navy's ahead. Keep going, really. Let me handle this one. Thanks, Roger. Really? And it's the Rox pirates, or the Roger pirates saying, Really's gotten Shaggy back.
I think this is the Rox pirates. I think you're right. Because is that Captain John in the back?
I can't tell.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
Circle the ship around to the southwest. We see Rayleigh and Shaki embraced still.
He's carrying her through the threshold of God Valley.
I'm so jealous, damn it. And I guess is this Rox? Or who's saying, don't even dream of it, fools. Get rough and you'll harm Shaki. That would be a tragedy. Switch targets to the treasure. We're taking everything but Shaki. And there's crying and screaming and I guess that's Rayleigh breathing heavy while carrying her, puffing. And imagine him sort of lowering his voice for this. He says, Shaki, there's something I need to say to you. And I guess she's like, don't say it. I already know. Oh, cute. And the next panel you get an Oda box says, primary prize treasury. It's a wild melee out there. You can't ask for a better chance.
I assume this is Ivankov.
Yeah. This is it. And looks like Kuma's he's holding something. Might be his devil fruit.
It is his devil fruit because it looks like a paw. So what could it be?
It sure is. I don't know which is what, but let's eat them.
Marianne.
All right, and then we cut to Big Mom crashing in and shoving Ivankov up against a wall and grabbing what will be, as we know, Kaido's dragon devil fruit.
It's covered in scales, of course it is.
Yes, from him, and she says, "Ha, not so fast." And Kuma in the background's like, "Eva, oh shit." And she goes to reach for his as well. "I'll take that one too," she says. And Eva screams, "Eat it, Kuma! Don't think! Eat the fruit!" And so Kuma is, we get him a nice little shot of him with chubby cheeks, fruit in mouth. He has eaten it and gained his powers. Big Mom says, "Shh! Ah," and she's mad. Let's see. Oh, and I guess this is a continuation. Oh, it's a continuation of eat the fruit and save yourself, says Eva. "We just need one survivor, and then we've won!" And he looks very triumphant. This is presumably over a radio. We have some Marines probably shouting, "Chaos is unfolding everywhere. The pirates are fighting each other. Should we retreat or arrest them? We need orders, sir." And then explosions and ah! And a little box saying, "Now, from the Navy's perspective," and that appears to be Garp and Bogard running, and he says, "Hey, Sengoku, did you know this was going on?" There was one man who reported some rumors," says Sengoku, "but he vanished from the Navy's ranks."
Steve Bogart doesn't even talk in that one. Does he
No, he
talk
doesn't.
later?
Maybe.
Am I like
I don't see.
forgetting?
Doesn't look like it.
God, was that a morning stupor of me or something like that?
I get that. Don't worry. When I read the first chapter,
That's
for the first
isn't
time.
that Bogart right there? That
No,
guy?
it is, but he's not talking. That's Garp to Sengoku.
Yeah, and it kind of seems to imply
Oh.
that Garp did not know about this little slave hunt thing. Because he
Hmm.
says,
I stand corrected. Yeah,
It-
sorry, that was a morning stupor thing. Bogart continues to not say
he
anything.
continues to not talk.
He might have
I wonder
had
if he was
a line.
talking about the confrontation between Rox and Roger that's going on.
Maybe.
Did you know this was?
I'm sure he wrote about it
no.
very passionately in his diary.
No, so I think it must be because you see all the civilians that are murdered there in front of him as they're discussing this.
So the person who reported rumors and disappeared, are we to assume that's Dragon?
Almost certainly.
There's one man who...
I don't know if Sengoku would know
No.
about Dragon at this point. 'cause
No, that
Dragon's
doesn't
still
make
running away.
sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It would have to be someone like in some earlier time before the God Valley incident.
Or was this like Ivankov's getting information off the island? Maybe?
No, I don't.
No,
No,
because these
that's-
happen
it's-
so frequently that I'd imagine that it has to have been somebody talked and
No,
the
and-
world
and these
government
happen-
disappeared them
And these happen every 3 years.
every 3 years.
So I'm sure he means from a previous one of these. That's how I took it.
Possibly.
I would
yes.
just add,
He was made to disappear.
Steve, are you the one who first pointed out the character that makes an appearance here at the top of the page? Because I did not notice this, and Oda probably wouldn't want me to either.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead here. Let me go back.
Oh yeah, we
the
are
guy
seeing
kicking.
some.
Oh yeah, Marco.
Pineapple Head.
Oh,
Young
it does
Pineapple
look like
Head.
him.
That is definitely not him. I mean, in that it can't be.
He
right?
shouldn't
Is
be.
even
He wouldn't be
old enough?
alive at this point.
Is,
Or he'd be a
is
little
this going to
kid.
be my first stolen joke of the manga recap? Oh no,
Please.
that's his father, Polo.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Seriously, that is Marco, and I bet this is another SBS thing. It's like, was Marco at the
Well,
God Valley? And Oda's
Because
like, no,
how do we
it's
know
his
Marco's
pappy.
age? Is Marco's age from a Beaver card? Because the ages have
Yeah,
been wrong on
he's
those.
45. He's 40.
But he was a
Well-
kid. He was a kid in the Odin flashback. Yeah.
Oh, that's
That-
right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
and he
'cause-
was
Seems like
he
a-
was a rookie. Like he had just
Mm.
joined as the newest pirate. Yeah.
Because you could, except that we do know
Is
his
the Beaver
age.
card.
You could say like, oh, if he's a phoenix, maybe he does the phoenix thing, like die and get reborn, sort of a thing. But I don't think so.
It's
He
too
just-
much.
every
That's too
few
much.
years, he randomly bursts into flames and is reborn.
Yeah.
I mean, we could full send it on Nepo piece and have it be Marco's dad.
Yeah. I mean, we are in Nepo piece here.
But
at
also-
this-
Yeah,
Marco
Probably
Polo, that was
is
maybe
that.
my least favorite anime con trend of all time.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh.
That or
Not Yowie
Vuvuzelas.
pads?
But
And the Yowie paddles?
but also
Yeah, we paddles.
people are allowed to have the same bad hairstyle.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like
Are
everyone
they?
with the mullets right now with the shave those sideburns. Look,
Yeah,
those are hip right now.
for some reason.
And there's a lot of bald guys out there. Doesn't mean they're my dad, even though my dad also shaves his head. So
I'm pretty sure every bald guy is your dad, actually.
Yeah, I agree. You have many
Mhm.
dads, as we know, and many boyfriends, and that's fine. Not to spread rumors here, but Marianne, where did you
Shall we
leave off?
continue? All right. So we see Garp looking really teed off, and he says, "If I ain't awake and dreaming, then it's all real." We go to the next page. From Rox's perspective,
That Garp line doesn't really make sense to me.
no, I think it's because he didn't know about the slave hunts. I don't think he was
No,
aware
if
of that.
I agree with Ed, I thought it was a weirdly worded one. If I ain't awake and dreaming, what's that mean?
Oh,
That specific part of the line.
Where's
Then it's
Steven
all-
when you need him?
yeah.
If I ain't asleep and dreaming, I guess would make more sense. Or am I awake or am I dreaming?
Oh, yeah, that is a little confusing.
We'll bother Steven about that right now. Not really. Well, I could.
Well,
Nah, it's fine. Let him have his week off. Sorry, Marianne, go ahead.
You're good. All right, so this is from Rox's perspective, and presumably Rox is yelling, "Are they immortal or something?" And we see a woman, and she says, "Let me down, Sebek." And he's yelling, "We just gotta run. Everyone who got chased down transformed like that." And there are people behind him, including Garling, yelling, "Come back, Sebek!" And he says, or she says, I think, actually, the woman says, "What the hell is that? Is it someone's powers?" And if you look in the back, you can see clearly some somewhat familiarly devilish looking mysterious
Delightfully.
shadows. Yes, delightfully devilish. And she yells, "Dad, Granny, what happened to you?" So we see a couple of people who look like they might have been turned into devils, much like some of the giants in the current story.
Oh no, they got
Current
Dami
story.
mommied.
They got, what is it, Dami reversied?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the real answer, yes.
Yeah.
Double protein style.
What?
Sorry, that's a joke for mostly Californians, or if you've been to the In-N-Out in Texas or Las Vegas.
I see.
Thank you.
It's a thing, I promise.
I see.
More
I'm not
LA
crazy.
jokes. Go ahead.
Oh, this is also
Marianne,
me.
yeah.
Sorry. All right. So we see then more of a close-up of Garling, and I forget the lady's name, but Garling has got two very...
She's new.
Okay. Garling has got two very clear, what should be fatal attacks, cuts across both his head, like cleaved all the way to his eye almost, and then through his
Like
shoulder.
a slice of cake. Just like a perfect slice down the
And
middle.
it's like
of
one
his
of
head.
those
Garling was cake the entire time.
one of those
Oh,
meme
shit!
videos from months ago. Yeah.
Garling was cake.
Oh my god.
God, someone better make that now.
A Garling
like the
cake?
actual cake. Yeah, Garling cake.
Yeah.
He
He kind of...
so you could eat it and enjoy eating just oppression and fascism. Or the
Delicious.
many other awful things he is.
I enjoy
Yeah.
my oppression and fascism with a
Yes,
side
he
of
is
tea.
bleeding profusely, though.
Yeah, but he seems kind
That's
of...
not blood. I think that's like, or what was it? Like, wasn't it?
Ichor?
Yeah, I like that. Let's call it that.
His life goo.
Yeah, his life go.
And he seems like oddly okay for having,
Frosting.
for having a wound in his head that should have killed any normal person. And we see sound effects going.
Yeah, I think that's the regenerating whatever, like you would see in DBZ or something.
Or like with
that.
because that's what what's her face was
FMA.
doing in the Arrow lady was doing in Elbath.
Right. Gunko. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saint Gunko of the Maymeyer.
Manmeyer?
God, I'm
Manmeyer.
off today.
We're good.
We all said Manmeyer, so we're good.
One of those, Garling says as he regenerates, he's strong. No doubt the wounds he's inflicted will take longer to regenerate. The woman with him says, but now we know that he's one of the Davy clan. The Great One will be delighted if we can take him out. And, I don't know, is that him or is that the person below him? Somebody is saying, yes, the game is ruined, but this is a stroke of luck. Meanwhile, the woman over Zebek's shoulder is saying, let me down, Zebek. Do you really think you can hold them off one-handed? And he says, listen, heiress. So we discover, hey, that's his wife. Anyone with the Davy name who gets caught will be put through agony that makes hell itself seem like a lukewarm bath. And she says, I know that. I'm part of the Davy clan, too. They welcomed me among them even though I was a pirate. I understand the fate of the Davy clan, so let me down. And so he tops her. He just drops her. And she says, hey, oh no, I guess he doesn't drop her. She kicks free. That's what's happening. He's saying, hey, come on. And she says, if I was the type of helpless woman who could only cling to you and couldn't protect a single child... ...
Steve.
And then we go to the next page with that single child in her arms. We get a close-up of her, and she says, then you wouldn't have fallen in love with me, would you?
That's an adorable Blackbeard, by the way.
If she's Eris, then is he Davy D. Cloud?
Oh my god. Davy D. Zach. That's the real ship.
Yeah,
anyway.
I was gonna say Zach. No, it turns out she's just Ginny with a Photoshop filter.
I was gonna say she really looks like adult Ginny, like a lot, just with really frazzled hair.
Well, it's a good thing that Ginny's not on this island. Wait a second.
It's like it's such a similar hairstyle, but it's like, what if it was just round at the end instead? It's
maybe she's Davy. Maybe she's Davies. Maybe she's.
What's that thing they used to do in old cartoons where they would have like the slate underneath and then slide the page over?
Maybe
and then
she's...
so that they could change what's on there.
Yeah, maybe she's related to Ginny, and then it turns out that Bonnie is part of the Davy clan as well. Maybe, probably not.
Oh no!
Maybe.
So even though she's not a Buccaneer, she's a Davy. And
well, is it are Buccaneers Davy or Davies are like a clan within the Buccaneers?
Similar?
It's not clear.
Yeah.
Not clear. This has not been cleared up. That's what
we'll find out in the next flashback.
Yeah, the next flashback will just dive into that kind of genealogy sort of discussion.
Genealogy, I like it. Rock says, "Don't be an idiot. If it looks like they're going to catch me, I'll kill Teach and end my own." Oh no, this is sorry. This is what's her face?
Eris.
Not Ginny. Not if I kill myself first. No, she says, if it looks like they're going to catch me, I'll kill Teach and end my own life. And all I'm thinking right now is Teach can hear you.
Yeah, I was also thinking that the whole. To be fair, Teach has seen some pretty terrible shit in just the last couple hours here. But
he's
still,
like, "Yar, I just be numb to all this now."
Hey, he's never slept in his life.
Wait,
yeah, he already
like
decided he's
here.
like, yeah, I'm gonna be a pirate when I grow up, so I'm gonna talk like a pirate too.
Well, how old is he here? He's not. He's like 2. Is that?
He looks pretty baby, but
because he's 40, isn't he, or something like that? And this is 38 years ago. Let me check this. He's because I'm always wrong with years. Yeah, I got it. Keep going.
And she says, so let's find a way to survive and we can meet again in Lugia, Zebek. And I'm like,
no, but they're going to destroy it in 38 years.
I'm like, well, Lugia has been brought up to be relevant again. I don't know if there's any significant about that, or it just so happens that it's close by. I don't know.
He's 40, so he's 2 here.
It's kind of like how the live, we talked about the live action so much. It's like how the live action would reference like locations in One Piece, and it's meant for the audience to be like, that's all I was thinking. Readers. It was fan service is what I thought, like in the traditional sense, not in the other sense. And then Garling here is like, he's finally relinquished his wife and son. So how shall I attack? And we see Zebek here drawing his sword as Eris here, and Teach tip run off, and Zebek says, why am I the one getting sheared up? And
that's a good line. I like that line.
And he flexes, and we see his big burly muscles, and so does Garling, and whoosh, he drops down his sword, sending like a big slash like we've seen him do in the past, assuming. But then we cut out wide and see the whole island shake. And he says, stay here with me. I insist. Or maybe this is Garling. Who knows? But,
no, this is all Rocks. Yeah. Because he was running away. Yeah.
And he says, now come and do your worst, you monsters. And with a Zerd, some sort of explosion happens in the background as Eris calls out to Zebek, and a young Teach can only watch as they run away. And we got a little narration here. It says, by the primary prize treasury. And
Big Mom.
And this, I could only assume, this was Big Mom, but I want to make sure. She says, ma ha 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 hoo hee hoo ha. She says, well, this one should do just fine.
When do we think Big Mom developed her laugh? Has she been going, mom, mama, ha 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 ha, since she was like a child? Or did she have her first kid and she was like, you know what?
Maybe she learned it from Mother
Time to change things
Carmel.
up.
Yeah, maybe Mother Carmel just like had really good Carlin-esque stand-up for the kids.
Oh my God.
Just smoking a
Mama.
cigarette. I want to talk about the difference
Oh my God.
between the groggy ring.
I just want to say one thing about Blackbeard. If he is indeed 2 in normal parlance, like in the real world, I don't think he would actually remember any of this.
No, but it's One Piece.
But it's One Piece I was about to say,
Mhm.
so he definitely remembers this. But I wanted to make that. Actually. Anyway.
Actually,
Golfer.
maybe he doesn't have infantile amnesia like most children do, and he remembers everything because he's super special, awesome, and a main character, and you're dumb.
Infantile amnesia is like an extremely interesting thing that people don't talk about.
I don't know. Nothing's off the table. A woman kept a baby in her womb for like
2 years.
Yeah.
You know what?
like, how long was it?
Two wrongs
Conquerors
don't make a
hockey.
right.
Conquerors hockey surpasses the infant
There
amnesia.
you go.
You just permanently remember it when you're around that much. Conquerors hockey.
I want to hear more YouTubers talking about infant amnesia. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
Wow.
go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, I said it.
So we get Big Mom holding up the model, the fish model Azure Dragon fruit, like she's Link that just got an item out of a chest. She says it's the
Hey, I
fish
could appreciate
fruit.
that now. Go ahead.
Oh, have you finally played Ocarina of Time?
No, I played.
No, he's
No, I
played
played
a
the 2 more.
Zelda.
No, I played the 2 more. But I did watch you play Ocarina of Time, Steve.
Tears of the
To be
Kingdom?
fair, that's like it. Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild I played. But they still have the music.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
This is
that's
true.
like the
This
same
is true.
thing.
He still
with
holds
everyone.
it up in the air.
Yeah, he still does. Yeah. But I know what you're referring to.
And she says, I'll give this one to Katakuri. It'll be a major new power up for my future pirate crew. And then we get silhouette piece with
Kaido?
with Kaido jumping out of nowhere seemingly, and then just smacking Big Mom,
El
Oh
Kabong.
God.
having the
El Kaidong. No.
Ew.
having the fruit pop up in the air. Big Mom, eyes white, so furious. And then Kaido, I imagine, bites it out of the air. Like, doesn't
Yeah,
even
like a-
grab it. He just straight up
He
Like a
catches
dog.
it with his mouth.
Yeah.
catches it with his mouth. She
Amazing.
goes tumbling, loses her hat. She's
Yeah, don't do that.
furious, and he looks like a 1960s cartoon, like a kid just got away with stealing a gobstopper. And then
This is
we see
incredible. Yeah.
a massive explosion. What looks to be Conqueror's hockey, lightning blasting all over the place. It says, damn you, Kaido! And it's furious Big Mom. And then we check in below with Dragon running with a young Shanks, while Shanks is crying in his arms. He says, don't worry, I won't let you die. The guy's bleeding through his justice jacket. And then we see Teach and Eris, and she's saying, I won't let them kill you. A nice little parallel between those two characters.
Yeah, I thought.
They're
Yeah,
forever
go ahead,
linked.
Steve. Yeah.
I say, I won't let anyone kill you except me.
Yeah, she did just say that
So
a couple
don't worry,
verses ago.
your life is
she
spared
has
unless I
to.
decide so.
She's-
I know.
Yeah.
It would be ceremonious, whereas
Yeah.
the world government, not so much.
She's doing some real John Q stuff here.
I will say this is what an example of just really one of the funniest things we've seen in a while, mixed with just like this very poignant emotional thing in just the last 2 panels of this page.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is well done. I just would have put it on the next page if I were.
Actually, like Kaido
oh.
snatching the fruit out of midair like he's one of the puppies stealing Homer's chips.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is.
I just can't help but hear, don't you get it, Lin? It's over. You lose. Now, excuse me. All this talk is making me hungry.
I don't know.
Oh.
Every time I see Kaido Dragon stuff, Trogdor pops into my head, except that it's Kaido was a man. Or maybe he was a dragon man.
A fish.
Or maybe he was
a fish.
just a dragon, but he was still
Steve doesn't get this reference.
I know, I get it. I just never grew up with it.
Behind the game stage, the secondary prize treasury, much less important. Well, wait till we get to the tertiary prize treasury. That's where, and the quaternary. Anyway, found the treasure. Yeah, so we get these look like all the Roger pirates, right? Because we definitely have Scopper and yeah, it is. And I've never seen such riches in my life. Whoa, there's even some devil fruit. I didn't have time to draw it, but there it is.
This is all the material treasure, like gems and shit.
Yes. Yeah, the things we care about. FYI, so I'm just gonna take a tiny step back, and this might be me being too much of a theorizer, but we've talked about the fact that Thriller Bark might be a piece of God Valley. Look, there's a gold cross there. That was a big thing in Thriller Bark, right? Anyway, we move. Hey, I'm just positing it out there for the crazy people like me. Here comes Scopper Kaban blocking. This is not Wang Ji, which this is the one I always forget the name of. Will anyone else help me out there?
I don't recognize them.
Oh my god, that's the one with the big arms. He's one of the Rocks pirates.
Yeah, that guy.
One of Moria's zombies?
Gonzui. Yeah, I mix up Wang Ji and Gonzui, and I don't know why I would mix those names up. But yes, that's him. And I think the last time I said I would look up his name, I did, and I never mentioned it, so I have to do that here. So not so fast, Roger Pirates, but I do love Scopper's face of I'm just gonna hold up this axe and block you with one hand. Like, get away. Meanwhile, the Navy, which includes one stripe shirt guy, one train conductor.
I love the train conductor design. It's beautiful.
That's Steve's new fave, right?
Oh yeah.
It's very
Are you
good.
going to draw him for the episode image this week?
No, he's about to tell many stories about a bunch of sea trains.
Maybe.
And how useful they are to the economy.
Oh my god.
I'm going to kill you with my stories about economic development from future infrastructure in the train. Anyway.
This is what happens when you try to form a union.
Whackety schmackety. We get a close-up of Garp's eyes as he, again, is absorbing exactly what is going on here with the Celestial Dragons. So, what is justice on an island where everything's gone crazy? That is, by the way, a trailer tagline for
the
God Valley.
independent thought alarm goes off somewhere.
That's probably also true. This is an island where justice doesn't mean anything. Anyway, so we go to the next page. It's the world government's navy. Please rescue us. The citizens of God Valley who have not yet. The targets, yeah, they do have their handcuffs on. And
the
from
rabbits?
the shore. Yeah, well, yeah.
The rabbits.
Well, it was also slaves, I know, that were part of the rabbit contingent. And we see offshore, God Valley is unaffiliated with the government. Therefore, let me read you subsection 14 of the, and we head back toward Kuma briefly. And I think this must be Saturn remembering what Kuma says before he disappears. Is that right? Someone could correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like Saturn is remembering, I want to save as many of these people as I possibly can, and he's in thought on the top of a cliffside, and by thought I mean telepathic communication with I assume Emu here, saying Saturn is rocks dead, and Saturn looking more perplexed than he ever has in the series, including when he gets killed. It says, I couldn't say this is also unexpected. I thought we were just going to murder a bunch of people, and now we're the ones people are trying to murder. I don't like this. So he continues. Yeah, sorry. If anything, there is a danger that such wanton destruction might bring about the birth of something entirely new. It's like you could see the future. Meanwhile, in the distance, a dragon silhouette rises out of the fire, and the Navy and pirates who are fighting here both notice this happening. And we see Imu presumably responding, "That must not happen," to Saturn's point. Steve, what happens next?
What is that?
Alrighty. We got a little bit of time has passed here, and we're back to the Kuma side of the rocks, the God Valley incident here, and the slaves, prisoners that they've all managed to help escape. They're saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, Kuma. You're a hero." And Kuma's like, "Oh gosh, save your breath, just hurry." And they're saying, "Anywhere is," and they're this next dialogue is, "Anywhere that's not here would be heaven compared to this." And then another group says, "We had lost all hope. We never thought we'd survive. Thank you." And then we see that he is sending them all away, somewhere far away, and getting more close-up shots here of people thanking him. An old man, a woman, and kids, tears in their eyes. Ginny is bawling here, and Kuma's just happy to help here. And we get a wide shot here, and we hear just another like thank you echo as we see all the Supreme King hockey here, the lightning bolts here, just emanating from the center of God Valley here. And Roger, Garp, and Rox respond to this, and we see familiar little spider legs here. And this is someone just saying, "Rox is crew captain." And Roger's like, "No, wait, we've got bigger fish to fry." And we see this badass silhouette of, well, not a silhouette, just like this badass drawing of Rox here with this flame behind him. So it's just casting him in dark light. And with his sword planted in the ground, he says, "You dare use my family against me? This is going to be my end. Of course I'll fight to kill." And we hear some panting here. And
I guess before he was just fighting for fun.
I don't know. I fighting for another hot wife.
I think I don't even think that's the intention there. I think it's he has killed those family members. Because if he's going to die anyway, and they've been turned into devils, he probably doesn't think he can rescue them. So they're like, "Oh, well, if we fight you with people that you know, then you won't be, as lethal." Yeah. But
this is like the, going back to the chapter, the page that Marianne did, the dad and granny.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if that was Rox's or Ginny's, but either it was his in-laws
you mean Eris?
See? Can't get out of your head. And Garling once again has his ass handed to him here. He's out, hacking up blood here.
Good.
Yeah,
I like seeing
Me too.
shitty people suffering.
I also do.
Broderlin Garling. Really easy to be tough when you're fighting slaves. Your hands tied.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, but these ones had devil horns.
Golfer. Yeah. I think we're up to the last page, right?
Yep. We have Rox talking to Whitebeard, and he says, "There's nothing in it for you. You sure you want to help?" And Whitebeard responds, "Don't worry about it. I've been drinking on your tab this whole time." And then we've got Kaido flying around all excited, saying, "Hey, you two, check this out.
This shit is sick."
This is Kaido acting like such a teen here.
He is a teenager, right? Isn't
he got a new car.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is.
I finally got my own power to use. I want to test out my new strength.
Vroom, vroom. And he just...
And then I love how Rox is still supportive even in this pretty hectic moment. He says, "Good for you. As far as I can tell, you're having the most fun of anyone right now." Whoa. Then Whitebeard says, "That's all well and good. Can I ask what in the world that is?"
"I'm a fish."
Yeah, he said they have bigger fish to fry. Well, bigger fish to fry than Kaido, who is now a fish. That's probably not actually what that was in reference to, but maybe, I don't know.
Fish.
And then we've got Saturn, who
Always fish.
now has the emu head. And he says, Saint Saturn, there's a Marine saying, Saint Saturn, why do you look like that? Ah, monster. We see the Conqueror's hockey blasting off of him. And then Garp looks up and says, now I know I'm dreaming. What is this island? Then Roger, ever the adventurer, says, what grand days of adventure we live in. Still have so much to learn. Rock says, what is that you say? If I had to call it anything, that represents the world.
Konosekai.
Za Warudo.
Yeah.
I was
The
tempted.
world,
I was
you
so
see, is
tempted
one-
to do the DO.
No, the world is one big, wacky, waving inflatable arm tube.
I'm writing that down. That's it for this week's chapter. We're off next week, right? Does it say? I should probably double check this. I was pretty sure. Let's go around the horn. Ed, we can start with you. What did you think of this week? This week's chapter.
I think I said it at the beginning of the show as well, but I'm missing the absence of the Straw Hats every week.
You're missing the absence of?
I'm missing their presence.
Yeah.
I feel like I do say that every time I appear on the show, but wonder what Luffy's up to right now.
He's still listening to this story.
Eating meat. Well, hold on.
3 minutes.
No, I know.
I'm sorry, not to take up Ed's time, but this is, I think, one of the things I'm kind of rolling my eyes at hearing is people like, how did Loki know what happened at God Valley? He wasn't there for that.
I know.
The flashbacks aren't the actual character telling the story. There's been a few exceptions. Like Nojiko, that was her telling the story. But, it's not like when the Akazaya Nine saw the ships destroyed in the...
Let me tell you all a story.
They're like, hey, why don't we take a knee here and I'll tell you all a story.
Even though you were all
we know
there.
this, we were there.
I'm going to be honest. This flashback has gotten so sidetracked. I forgot until you said it. Oh, yeah, this is supposed to be Loki telling them about stuff.
We'll talk about that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I forgot Monkey D. Luffy was a character.
Oh, my God.
I often.
So I guess this is where Roger got the inspiration to actually find the One Piece. This is
didn't he label
No,
it as such?
where he-
the One
where he-
Piece, he was the
His
one
main
who
goal
called
was
it
to
that.
traverse the entire world. Did he even really think about the One Piece before he set off?
This might have been.
well, there's so much he doesn't know, and that's what he doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think it's more showing this has always been his character, wanting the curiosity to explore and to adventure. Like he is the true romantic pirate, which we've always known, but it shows us that even at this ripe young age of whatever he is, that he still had that kind of.
And he really I say this every week, but I think he really looks like Ace here in this triple sliced panel with him, Garp, and Rocks.
Yeah.
The hair is very Ace.
You okay, Marianne?
Yeah. Ace is my boy. Just makes me sentimental.
That's a hot Roger right there.
Mm-hmm.
But is it the hot Roger?
Hot Roger. What is that, like a Rusty Venture?
What?
Okay, it's a
Venture Brothers
gross
joke.
Venture Brothers joke.
We're not going to get into what that could possibly mean.
No one will. Ed, yeah. Any other thoughts
Hey,
on the chapter?
want to circumvent the entire world?
I don't know. I guess what I got out of this is we don't actually see the sort of the defeat of Rocks. That's supposed to be what happens at God Valley, but seeing it's obviously a monumental event. Like the Kaido thing is very funny, but him bonking Big Mom over the head and snatching the fruit out of midair is very funny to me. But overall, it's a very good chapter. The Eris and Rock's relationship is kind of also funny to me. It's a little weird. Wonder how they met. I don't have much else to add.
Okay. Golfer, your thoughts?
I think the thing that's standing out to me the most is that we know when we get back to Elbaf We know Gunko is possessed by Emu. We know there's a ton of different folks that have been Dami reversied. And I like how, at least for this chapter, and while we get to wait, it gives us the anticipation of this is what it takes to take on Emu in this moment and take on, a Gorosei member or a Holy Knight who's been possessed by Emu. And it's literally like the strongest man in the world at one point, the greatest pirate of all time that isn't named Roger, the guy that Luffy died 3 times trying to beat, the greatest Marine of all time, and we know one of them still dies and loses, and Saturn is still alive after this, and we know everybody goes on their grand adventures afterwards, but like Whitebeard basically not gives up on, but he goes into like, I want to have a family. Like, how much does this one fight change absolutely everything?
And so we're still 15 years away from Roger actually finding One Piece, and he's executed 22 years before the beginning of Luffy's story.
Yeah, so like we see all of this happening, and it fills me with so much anticipation of like, I don't know if we have 5 guys or ladies on Elbaf right now that could fill out this kind of spread and have us be confident that he's going to be able to take on Emu. How much power comes with like being in Gear 5 and being the Warrior of Liberation? Like, how much of a boost does that give? Because they don't have that here.
Although I think of the Straw Hat Pirates, really the most important member for that part of the story is Robin with her skill and knowledge of the past.
I mean, that'll be big. And then who do they get to kind of take on this moment together, and how do they kind of hobble it together in a way to save Elbaf and not have it be completely destroyed? And then I've been known to slander Garp a time or two. It was wild to learn that he had no idea. He called it a field trip beforehand, and I was like, look at him just passing off slaves being killed on an island and being hunted. So to learn that he had no idea what was actually happening here is a bit more comforting for his character, that he wasn't just outright ignoring all of this.
And it seems like he didn't want to know.
Yeah, there's probably an element.
You don't ask too many questions of the higher ups in the government, or you disappear from the Navy. Overall,
just absolutely insane chapter, and it's gonna make the break feel so long, because this is it, right? Like, this is, Zach, you joke that One Piece is like a comedy first and foremost, but second, it's like an insane battle shonen, and this is what we all want: is every great character possibly going up against one person.
These characters are all legends in their own world.
Yeah.
I personally don't think One Piece is a comedy first and foremost. I just think Oda thinks One Piece is a comedy.
Oh, gotcha.
First and
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know if I said that. That was a few weeks ago.
I think you said,
especially all the Straw Hats have their own comedy shtick, which we recognize when we see it.
Yeah. I mean, I may have mentioned that earlier. I don't remember. But yeah. Anything else, Golfer?
That's it.
Marianne.
As previous people have said, God Valley is obviously a turning point for basically all of these characters, and I think it's really cool that we're seeing some of the moments that are going to clearly become those turning points. Like, I think this is the turning point for Garp going, you know what, fuck the world government, actually. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm not listening to the world nobles. They're getting up to this shit? Yeesh. Like, it's kind of cool just getting to see all of that. I'm glad we finally...
I think it shows a lot of why Garp would protect Ace and make sure he grew up somewhere.
Yeah.
As opposed to like what happened to the Davy clan.
Yeah. I'm glad we finally got to see like Eris and Baby Teach. I'm a little disappointed that Eris is a Ginny copy. Yet again, Oda, man, you're so good at designing male characters, and yet your women really do 90% look the same.
But he can do it. I mean, we have Ida, who I think is excellently designed.
He can,
but he just chooses not to a lot of
it's because we just had like the Ginny stuff. It's almost like, oh, it's a woman in a flashback. It's like he drew Ginny and then went, oh shit, hang on, let me change the hair a little bit. Like, that's a little disappointing, but it's also like, well, she's probably only going to be in this chapter and maybe the next one where she inevitably probably dies, or something. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, her son's a pirate.
Yeah, and has obviously not grown up in the best of circumstances. I really liked the chapter. I thought it was good. There's a lot of hype. I mean, it's God Valley, so of course, it is the parallel the two panels, I should say, the parallel of, Dragon and Shanks, and then Eris and Teach, like, we're doing this to save the kids. And then, like, seeing some stuff that we have seen before with Eva and Kuma with, like, the devil fruits. Like, it's kind of nice. We're, like, calling back to it. I almost wish we could have gotten, rather than snippets before, and now we're getting God Valley, I almost wish we could have just gotten all of God Valley in one go instead of teasing it, but that's okay. We're getting it now. So, I don't know. I liked it.
Steve.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how I felt after this chapter at first. I'm like, oh god, another back and forth between liking and not caring for chapters, but revisiting it is, a lot of fun. I will say, like, where we're heading, it's like, okay, we're heading to the big climactic battle here at God Valley. This lineup here of, like, Kaido with Rocks and Whitebeard, I think I'll steal one from our friend Ken here. So it's like, oh, this is very Roof Piece-esque, and yeah, it definitely has that kind of energy. It's like, all right, here's your main event. The major players are here. It's like, let's run wild. I will say, I guess I was wrong about Zebek here. I guess he does care about his family, because I thought, I'm like, he's faking it. He's lying.
I bought into that. I thought you made some very good arguments.
No, I guess he cares. I mean, his dad and granny got turned into demonios.
He did kill them.
It's a Robin thing. Yeah, because he's
yeah.
It's all about his goals here. I guess he didn't try to be like, it's got to be a way to reversey this reversey.
Uno reversey.
Yeah, he did not play the card. He didn't have a good hand here. That makes me wonder, is Emu already on the island here? Because this feels like an Emu move. Okay.
An Emu,
I mean, at the end.
In possessing Saturn.
No, before that. Because why are these characters...
Well, it seems like...
That's a great question.
Well,
that's a great question.
It seems like, I mean,
Marianne?
Emu is clearly, like, it's the same thing with what's happening currently in Elbaf. It seems like Emu was probably in whatever little hut that they were in, and then they did the same thing that they did to Gunko to Saturn, which is, like, possess them from a distance. And or maybe they can also teleport, which would make sense. Since
I think the question is was Saturn possessed by the time we saw those?
Or is this part of Gunko's, like, ability even at this time, because she's there, although we don't see.
But not.
It's a very good question.
If so, you would see her running with Garland.
Yeah, I was that did cross my mind as well. I forgot to mention it, but well,
I am just curious what the order of events here, though. Maybe it's because we're not yet meant to understand how these powers work, but I just assumed this was an Emu thing. Like, I just assume it's the same thing here. Like, Emu is, in their little, sanctuary here. It's only when they hear things have gotten so bad is when they show up and possess someone, a la, Saturn right here, and being in the situation we are. So I'm curious what that all means here. But besides that, like the Rocks and Eris moment, it's nice, but I can't help but kind of feel like this is Ginny. She looks so much like Ginny, and this is not me just like, oh my god, it's another One Piece mom, sacrificing or dying, or all women look the same in the series. Yeah, that tired argument, but it's just the hairstyle. And I even got Zach, mixing them up. So
that's not hard, just to be fair.
It even feels like like similar personalities too, even though like we're hardly.
Yeah, you get it. You get a tough, rowdy lady who is willing to fight. Yeah, okay.
Right.
She's cute and spunky.
She is. Yeah,
she is.
They
so
both
is Jin.
are. Right.
I do And I think I did point this out. I feel like the Kuma flashback was the start of like love being mentioned a lot. And I'm not, and I know there was the stuff with Hancock and Luffy, but that was like so one-sided. But Oda said
Sanji and Pudding, someone in our comments did mention.
But love was that maybe, I don't know, maybe
Maybe
Sanji said I love you, but Sanji was just like, let's get married.
Or,
let's save this.
And also in this
situation
chapter we had Rayleigh gonna confess something to Shaki, and she's like, I already know. Doing the Han Solo.
Yeah. But I think this is only just like a recent thing where we're really seeing love get mentioned so much, because it really was something Oda avoided for so long.
Oda, I don't write One Piece. I don't write romance.
No romance for the Straw Hats.
Oh.
True.
You know what? Touche.
Yeah.
But even still, like, it just feels like something. I don't know, maybe I'm spaced out. I'm sure that maybe there's more examples, but I feel like this is kind of like, well, there's like Kyros and Scarlet, but
yeah, I think it's definitely more front. Well, we talked about this before, Steve.
I don't really recall so many characters saying like "I love you" in a romantic way.
Well, also
it's the High School Musical flashback as we talked about.
Explain how.
It's also like it's we're into the, sorry to call it this Nepo piece era, so we have to get like okay, well, people's parents. So I mean, I guess the Rayleigh and Shockey stuff doesn't apply to that, but like, yeah, we need if we're getting people's parents, we got to see the romance.
Yeah, and maybe in case there's younger readers reading this that don't know where babies come from yet, they're like, oh, it's when a mommy and daddy love each other. It's very much.
It's when
it just feels
it's when a mommy gets kidnapped and a daddy has to rescue her. And yes.
No, just something I've kind of been noticing myself. Really, I enjoyed the Kaido and Big Mom thing a lot, with Kaido just eating the fruit out of the air. That was like really the most entertaining part of the chapter for me. But now we got this, and Kaido being a dragon, like, check it out. It was really funny.
Yeah, it's fun seeing a character like Kaido, who is, well, I guess he has his drunken stuff later on, but who is generally a stoic, serious person, getting to be like a dumb teenager. It's pretty good.
This pimply face dragon, Kaido.
Yeah. Hey, look, everyone, I'm a dragon.
He's doing donuts in the parking lot. And then we have like Emu taking over Saturn. And I can only assume this is a silhouette here because it's just like so strange. This is the strangest bowl of shaved ice I've ever seen. But
it does. Yeah.
So I got to think like, all right, so Rox was was taken down in a joint effort with Garp and Roger, and
is that true?
Zebek hasn't really done anything to warrant that yet, so I can only assume that maybe he's going to be reversied here, unless he hits Emu with like a draw 4 or something.
That would help. Those are wild.
I mean, I'm kind of still perplexed here, but this seems like, okay, we're kind of moving things into the center here. This is gonna be the big battle here, and it seems like, okay, Shaki's been saved. Oh, but I guess there's no way Eris is making it out of this island alive, so I guess we gotta resolve that too. But it seems like this is all that remains to cover for this story, so let's see what happens, and then maybe we'll go back to Harold if he's still relevant. But it was fun. I think Kaido was really kind of like the MVP of this chapter. It was really entertaining. Although I am disappointed, and maybe this got just too caught up in fan theory and stuff like that. I'm like, I thought he was going to be, like the Azure Dragon is the carp that swam upstream and then became a dragon. That's the myth, right? I think I'm getting some nods here.
Up the waterfall through the gate.
Oh, the waterfall. Thank you. Yeah. I thought that we were gonna have like a magic carp Gyarados situation here where he has to level grind as a crappy fish first.
Who can't go in the water, by the way.
And it would have been
He's
so
gotta earn it.
entertaining.
Yeah,
Because
that
we
would have
know
been fun.
Kaido's this like intimidating hoss of a villain, and it's just maybe his crappy fish form would be really entertaining. But I guess like if that were to exist, it would just create more problems because devil fruit users can't swim. How can a fish,
Why are there fish devil fruits if it like kind of defeats the purpose of it?
Yeah. I just would have loved to just see, just crappy carp Kaido.
Or even just small version, like when Momo first gets the fake one.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
he's a little
tiny.
kid. That's why.
Yeah.
But I think like Momo kind of, I should have realized I should have looked at Momonosuke. I'm like, oh, well, if Momonosuke was like a little fish
Yeah.
at first.
But he was
But
pink.
yeah.
It was a failure.
But also
Failure.
that was because Momonosuke was a child.
Yeah, no, I am.
Right.
Yeah. So I really should have looked at that and be like, oh no, it's not going to happen. So I was a little bummed that Kaido was immediately like, cool, I'm a badass dragon now. And I'm like, damn, I want to see you work a little harder.
Yeah, but Nepo babies, all of them.
I would
And
love
Kaido
to just
rides
see
off
like,
on his skateboard,
Yeah.
motorcycle.
So long, suckers. And he just,
I would love to see like just Kaido just try flying around. He's just like crashed into walls and stuff. He doesn't know yet. But yeah, he was the MVP of this chapter for me, and I enjoyed that. But other than
Momo
that,
did do that in Onigashima, by the way, what you're describing.
Yeah, kind of like Momonosuke. Yeah.
He might
exactly.
all he did was burst up into the air and come down and say, look how cool I am. Like, he hasn't actually done anything.
But I think, like I said, these are like the last two plot points I think that are really left to conclude here. And I'm also hoping for some sort of Dragon and Garp confrontation. But I don't think I think Dragon's
for a Dragon and Garp
It
confrontation.
might happen.
Yeah.
It might.
But I would love to see it.
The central focus of their dynamic is just leaving the Marines versus staying in the Marines after, and then we've seen him on this island. Like, this is the moment.
Yeah.
If Oda wants us to see those two have that
Agreed.
familial conflict, like where else could it possibly happen?
Yeah. And that's something I don't want to see off screen where it's like, oh, just Dragon never came home.
Or even a call
It's like-
afterwards, like if they leave and then it, because they
Hey,
still talk to
Dad,
each other.
I'm
apparently.
quitting.
Yeah, that's. Well, I
I
really want to see that because that's also relevant to Luffy and
Mhm.
the main character of the series. Allegedly.
Yeah, Steve, anything else about that?
No, that's it.
Okay, I'll try and make it quick. Yeah, I really enjoyed this chapter. I think the thing I've talked about before, I'm going to start out with the negative and go to the positive because it's not really a negative about the chapter. I think it's been a negative about my reading experience that I need to kind of suspend belief on. I have to treat this flashback like, and we've discussed this before on the show, I have to treat this as its own arc, because if I think of this as part of Elbaf, it's a
It's
little
like
frustrating.
It's a fairy tale that exists in the world of the series.
Yeah, like I have to think of this like the Nolan and Kagura flashback almost. Like that is like so. I mean, that's different in a lot of ways. Absolutely, they're very, very different flashbacks, but it is its own kind of thing, separate but related to what's going on in the current story. Like it represents parallels, and we discussed the Domi Reversi and the Emu, showing up and all these things. So in this story is less about the story of Loki and Harold, which it also is, which is I think why this starts to get a little messy.
Or Harold and Rox.
And Harold and Rox, Loki and Harold and Rox, but it also is a flashback that is guiding the reader in the present day to set up expectations and to set up kind of where the battle lines have been previously drawn. And I think this chapter was kind of the first time that became much clearer to me. I think Emu showing up in particular, it's like, okay, and the Domi Reversi thing is like, we're really seeing the parallels now between the current day in the story and 38 years ago on God Valley. I think this isn't necessarily going to be a flashback, and I very, very likely will eat these words, but I don't think this is going to be a flashback built on character as much as it is a flashback built on story. And obviously
Built on hype, moments, and aura.
Yeah, hype moments, aura, and that too. But I mean, talking like in like a literary sense, like it is going to be about a story that happened, like you said, a fairy tale almost that happened in the past that kind of is a what do you call it, like an educational lesson for the present day as readers. Cautionary tale might be the versus like Kuma's flashback, though very all over, like having a lot of important story elements, generally is about a character. Like it is about Kuma. And it is important to the moment when we go into it. This is the latter. It's not the former. This is not all about Harold. This is not all about Loki. This isn't even all about rocks. We have all the stuff with Roger and Shaki and Rayleigh. We have this stuff with this Kaido and Big Mom stuff, which I love, by the way, but has really nothing to do with, like, where are we at this point? Like, if you try narratively to be like, God Valley. But if you try narratively to, like, be like, why are we discussing these characters? I think it makes a lot more sense if you plug it in as the cautionary tale / story of this is how we got to today, almost, in Elbaf versus, and globally versus, this is a story about blank. And I think, and maybe this was obvious to listeners and readers out there, but for me, that has been a real hurdle, and I'm starting to get over the hurdle. So that's generally where I'm coming from. And I've said I'm holding my opinion until the end of the flashback, like generally as to like what I think of it. This chapter was heart pumping. That's how I would describe it. Like, it definitely had funny moments. Like the Kaido thing, that munching, grinning panel is like an all-timer. That's excellent. That is Oda at his best. I know everyone else is going to say everything else. I also just like, I love the narrative thing. Like, we already knew that Big Mom stole the Magikarp fruit out of Ivankov's hand, but then it's great seeing Kaido steal it away from Big Mom after that, like it going through that, like,
just bonk her over the head with his club.
Biggest game of hot potato, I guess.
It's very
hot
funny.
Potato. You don't want to hold on to the hot
That's
potato.
true. Yeah,
it's just a little airborne. It's still good.
I want to steal another thing from Alex because it was a great joke. He said Kaido single-handedly saving us from the most edgelord One Piece character imaginable in Dragon Katakuri.
Yeah, which is, I think fans have already drawn art of that, and I'm sure, and we discussed this before, it will 100% be in an SBS or a magazine or something.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there's a lot of SBS bait here.
Katakuri's a little edgelord, but I do love him.
I mean, he already is. But what's great
is his weird leather gear and his jaw.
Yeah. And a dragon.
What's great about
He's Dennis from SpongeBob.
Katakuri? Yes. What's great about Katakuri is he's a One Piece character, so there has to be something silly about him. That's what's great about One Piece is like villains. There's always like this
the donuts,
a little bit of silliness.
Even when he was a child, he never hit his back. He never laid down.
I just would love to be like Big Mom, be like, I guess it's no loss. I would break the theme anyway. I think I'll steal one from Ken. God, like our friends had some really funny stuff. They should be on this show. It's like
stop stealing.
Like Big Mom giving like Oven like
right.
Kuzan's fruit, and it's be like, my name is Oven, and like he sounds like that as a child. It's like well now your name is Fridge.
Your name is Frieza. Oh shit.
So it's copywritten. No, so that part was very funny, and Katakuri having a mochi fruit and having to settle for that instead of a dragon is also kind of funny. I will say I do remember us falling in love with Katakuri after the donut chapter in particular, like that.
Oh yeah,
we were waiting for the quirk and seeing it like that. That just excellent.
I still have my
that panel is
Marienda
great.
plate.
Yeah, that is a great spread for just it's very funny. And that made me I do really enjoy Katakuri.
So maybe this like chapter really helped me with Kaido here, because Kaido was like he was silly at certain points, but
he was an alcoholic.
And that's silly.
He wasn't.
It's so silly.
Yeah,
I think it was a really interesting quirk that I don't think Oda took quite enough advantage of. He took some. I forgot to tell you that I forgot to mention also all the way back at the cover stories. I think one of the reasons like it feels so recent is because it was so much time in Wano. Not that it's bad. It's just we were there a long time, so it feels like forever recent. Like Dressrosa feels like a couple years ago, but that was over 10. So there you go. This chapter, what I was talking about. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else I want to say about it, but I think that, seeing the maps and all that stuff, as I like to go back to my original point, I feel better about it, thinking of it more as its self-contained cautionary tale for the reader for the current day. I don't have a better way to put that. Ginny 2.0, and I ignoring the design because Steve is right. Obviously, I've slipped up at least once, but I do enjoy her as a character. So far, I think Spunky is absolutely right. So, of the moms in this flashback so far, my ratings: Ida way at the top. Then you got Eris, Shanks's mom, who does not have a face. And at the bottom, the evil one that Loki's evil mom, stepmom, whose name I forget. That was in this flashback. What are we, like 10 chapters into this now? I have lost count.
I don't remember.
that few.
Yeah, it's just because we've had a lot of breaks. I could check, but I don't think we're as far as you would suspect. Well, let's see what was going on at 11:52. That was the beginning of it. So this is we are 10 chapters in. It does. That's a volume. That's more like 11 chapters is a volume. So we're at like just about a full volume. You
could just call the entire volume God Valley Battle Royal.
Yeah, that's a good name for a volume. And also I would add, I think the Odin flashback was around this length. So we're like approaching overtaking it, I think. But that's it for the manga recap. Any other thoughts? So let's round off the manga recap. This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, and theories, but it's not a Nepo piece together segment. We don't all come from some amazing stock of, I don't know. I'm done. First segment is called Dispiece. I have to do everything this week. Crams Thempreg. But scary says, ahoy OPP banger chapter as always, or it would be if Kaido turned into a fish and not a dragon. 0 out of 10. Oda, you are a hack. I didn't say that. Seriously though, what a great and dense chapter. So Eris was a pirate. And what do you mean, Leloucha? But my question is on the most important panel of all. What was Rayleigh going to say? My guess is that he was going to tell Shaki that he's Mpreg and that he laid the giant egg that hatches into Buggy. Have a great week. What did I just read?
I think that's all true.
Mm-hmm. We can leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yes, and the end.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your improv on this scenario here. The Slayer King, or Slay, says, hello, my fellow fruit munchers. What is happening this week? What kind of things do you think would be different if Ivankov had Kaido's devil fruit and Kaido or Big Mom had Ivankov's? Have a great week. That's a great question. The reverse there. Not all at
Well,
once.
It's so hard to think about because it could fundamentally changes just everything about them.
I would love to see a flamboyant dragon. I think that would be sick as hell.
Does the fruit make you flamboyant?
No. I mean, Ivankov being flamboyant. If he had gotten the dragon fruit.
A dragon.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah.
That I like.
Like a gay Trogdor.
A drag queen.
He puts the dragon in drag queen.
See?
Yeah, okay, I see it.
What are Ivankov's pronouns, or do they change?
Yes, their pronouns
must
are
change.
whatever you want them to
Pick
be.
one, any and all.
It's not
Yeah.
whatever you want. It's whatever they choose to be at that moment.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct.
Yeah.
As he says in the
it's been the
anime,
default
as
in
he
the
says in the
manga.
anime, you can even call me Dookie. Don't call me Dookie.
I don't remember that.
I do.
No, I remember.
Oh,
I
it's
remember
such
that.
a great line. Such a great line.
I need to rewatch the dub.
Because then, like, what if? And then what if Kuma became a dragon? He'd be like, "Hop on my back, everybody."
I'll save you. And then he just
kindly
runs
dragon.
into things, just like you were imagining. I'll get the hang of this. I think Big Mom or Kaido having Ivankov's fruit could be interesting. I mean, so it's hormones of like all kind. I don't know enough about hormones as like a scientific concept to be like, how crazy could you go with this? Like, is it just gender related stuff, or can you do other? Must be able to do other
Well, because
stuff.
it's kind of
Well,
like sorry, this might have been where you were going, but like, because he could like alternate, like he could get like muscular and stuff, right? Was that like a thing?
There's
Oh,
that, and he saves
theoretically, yeah.
Luffy. Doesn't he?
He
Doesn't
does.
the operation like? I don't know. Maybe the sky's the limit with what you could do with hormones.
Hormones are required for the normal development of animals, plants, and fungi. This is Wikipedia. Do the broad definition. Yeah, I mean, it,
Oh, sorry,
it does a
I
lot
thought
of
you were
stuff.
just in your mind palace for a moment.
I am.
I think they can do whatever Oda wants them to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very OP power, if you think about it more than 1 second. I mean, even Cough deserves it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But okay, I'm not going to read the entire scientific analysis about hormones. I'll just move on to the next question. Anyway, that being said,
Save that for our next segment.
but maybe Kaido could have his animal army if he still wanted it with that devil fruit, with hormones, like just to make people more animalistic. I don't know. Sailor Karna says, "Hey OPP, well, looks like everything's coming up God Valley, but seriously, I'm glad that Yamato has finished his journey, maybe, possibly. What are the odds for the cover story to continue in the next chapter, Steve?"
None.
Okay, there you go.
No, but it was like the next cover story is like, but, and it's like, just like
... It's not impossible. Oda could do that if he really wanted.
but it'd be like a black square, so then we would have to wait a whole nother week to find out what the hell he's talking about.
You're correct. That is how that would work. King Doji says, "Hey OPP, here's the person who went to the One Piece immersive experience at Mercer Labs in New York City today. To sum it up, it stinks. It's all about Wano, which isn't inherently bad, but I'm honestly a little fatigued by it. It's a little disorienting, and half of the things are just art pieces that are normally their weird thing for my parents to take me to. How do people try to relate to you guys about One Piece?" So I guess non-One Piece fans, how do they try and relate to One Piece with you? It's a good way to...
They buy me soap.
Oh, we talked about this, didn't we? I
Oh.
forgot if we did this on air or not, but yeah. Then. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was that whole... Okay, I'm remembering now what that was related to. Patreon listeners get the full I hate One Piece soap
I think
rant.
like anyone I know who doesn't know the series doesn't bother. I think they don't even like they don't even feign interest. They just don't ask about it. So I've never really had to do too much explaining.
Yeah,
I get
think Yeah, go ahead.
I'll get like a passing interest, but it's about my TikTok. I'm like, I talk about One Piece, and you get the same thing every time that if you tell someone you make videos online, they're like, oh, that's cool. And then they see how many followers you have, and they're like, oh, okay. Then they ask what you talk about. Now they want to talk to you. Oh, now you're like a little influencer. And I'm like, I don't tell people where I live, so no.
I'm a little tiny influencer.
Internet niche micro celebrity.
Oh, I don't even like that. You're better than that. But first of all, I want to preface this by saying LinkedIn is a cesspool. But I saw like something they're saying that like Gen Z or Gen Alpha people who are children, are like the YouTuber and influencer are like the highest thing that they want to be. And I say this again with the caveat that LinkedIn is awful, but like that's nuts for many reasons. Come on, kids.
Cheaper
than college. Yeah. Yeah, we know that. I know that's true. I think Steve. I think Artist was also on that list. So
it doesn't surprise me because it's just
no.
It's more DIY. You can do it on your own. You do have to invest time and money into it, but it's something, and it's a hard, it's a hard thing to crack. Like it's really hard to get like noticed, but like I don't know, the people that do, and it does happen, but it's also, it's kind of like an artist thing too. It's like not every artist is going to become successful, but it doesn't surprise me at all. It's just relatable, and it is. And then it's also, there's glamorous sides to it. I mean, there's glamorous sides to like any kind of art making. So it doesn't
especially
surprise me at all.
Podcasting, very glamorous.
We're like kings.
I mean, it's the most present thing for kids where it's so visible to them, like where you can be like the whole thing is being creative, whether like whatever
Absolutely.
you do within it. And like, maybe the anti-capitalist in me is like, it's the best way to kind of beat the man, even though like you're still working for basically Google at that point. But
yeah,
probably seems better than a 9-to-5 when your parents are miserable every day. And then Jimmy from Mr. Beast looks so happy all the time.
Yeah.
To be fair, most YouTubers look
This
much
is the
happier
worst
than
day of my life.
Yes, I am positive. Well, I'm not like from personal experience, I will caveat, but there is no way people are as happy as they appear in a lot of those videos.
No, that's social media, baby.
That is social media, which is funny because it both sells awful, like negativity, but it also sells extreme positivity.
I mean, just like people that aren't influencers or creators, just it's like not everyone's sharing like their worst days online.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are, and that's a whole other
if you're
issue.
on LinkedIn, you share everything. How this relates back to B2B SaaS sales.
Yeah, no, here's my AI this and my AI that. It's so crazy. Like
this is how Grok got me through my divorce.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's like he is not far off from what the heck that is. So
that's about as down the middle as you can get on LinkedIn. It's all fake too. They're all like AI posting.
It is
these
awful.
AI posts.
Like Blue Sky, and not saying it's perfect, but Blue Sky and LinkedIn are as opposite as it's just crazy, completely different ecosystems they are. And it just, I mean, it also, with any social media ecosystem, it's the one that you choose. Like you choose your players in your social media ecosystem.
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison. I mean, sometimes things leak in from the outside one way or the other, but all that being said, what were we talking about? Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. How do people who don't read One Piece relate to me? It's about the podcast usually. And I also like, I don't think people who, especially like boomers, I don't think understand either like, why are you wasting your time with that, or why aren't you making $7 million a week on it? Like, it's one or the other. Where
now we're in such a different time now where everyone's got a freaking podcast, and
yes,
but also it's like a lot of like celebrities. It's like it's the next frontier for them. So it's
Yeah. Now I feel like this is an old story, but Billy West, I remember back in 2010 we saw him at a very tiny convention, Steve and I, and he was going off, and I think very correctly so, about how celebrities kind of get put into voice acting roles just for their name, and they don't actually know how to voice act. There are many exceptions, but I do agree with that. That kind of, it's like, celebrities, you got your own thing, you're doing fine.
Are they?
That's true.
Yeah, finding out how little money people actually make off like Netflix television shows blew my mind.
Yeah, it's.
I'll let you guys inform me on this after.
Streaming has like definitely thrown everything asunder, and also just less things are getting made. Actors aren't getting residuals from television anymore.
No DVD sales, so you can't even get that after the fact anymore either.
I miss commentaries and bonus features.
That's why I'll watch like Hulu with ads, and I'm like, every ad is a celebrity hawking something. I'm like, damn, times are freaking tough.
Well, recessions. How many of those have we gone through as a podcast now?
And then you got to feel bad for the commercial actors that aren't getting work anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy not watching commercials. And that my son doesn't really know what commercials are.
Where have all the Geico cavemen gone?
Or even just him trying to bust in with he's like, "Did you say gecko?" And they're like, "No, it's Geico." And he's trying to run into their offices.
Guys, they're not paying us enough for our Geico
for free advertisement.
And by enough, I mean, well, actually, I don't know. Maybe they are. It's dynamically inserted somewhere, so maybe, I don't know. Anyway, next question. Before we talk more about the Geico Gecko, Big Mike said, "I'm sad, OPP. Yamato's cover story ended today, and I was hoping it would go on for another 10 to 15 chapters. Anyway, when do you think the cover story took place? Did the entirety of it happen while the day after the Straw Hats left Wano and were sailing for Egghead? Maybe Yamato went to Elbaf while they were on Egghead, and he'll show up after the flashback is over, like when Jinbei shows up in Wano after Odin's flashback."
I think since nothing major happened in this cover story, that's like important to the current story. It really doesn't matter to me.
I imagine it happens like right after they leave too, because it's the whole Shogun. There's a name to it, like the surrogate pilgrimage.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there's a better title for it. But it happened to happen immediately
after. I think that's the title.
Just surrogate pilgrimage. Like, you get to walk around Wano.
I think, you see, One Piece like time frames are really tough, especially post time skip. Well, actually, just generally, like how Dressrosa takes place in like half a day. And that's 100 chapters, so wrap your head around that.
Don't let me remind you that apparently everything before the time skip was just 3 months.
Yeah, that also pisses me off, because it's like, okay, how close to people? You were gone longer than you were together. Come on. Yeah, and Oda definitely has a time frame in mind, but like it feels like that the Yamato stuff could be over a few weeks, because he's going all around Wano, and which I assume is not a small grouping of islands conglomerated together, or whatever the hell the backstory is there. Anyway, I don't know. That's my answer. Next, Sheepman says, "Does it feel like for anyone else that the God Valley portion of this flashback is being well fleshed out and also not at the same time? There are a lot of characters showing up, events we've known about happening, and getting a lot on unexpected moments, but this chapter at Eris's character being shown off, but the first time we hear about her, and when it's revealed that Teach has been born, their first interaction and them falling in love happens off screen or off page. And also Rox and Garland clashing isn't shown. Most importantly, Kaido turning into a fish is skipped entirely? We gotta hold Oda accountable for that one."
Your listeners really wanted him to turn into a fish.
I think Steve, what do you call that?
This would have been funny.
After them.
like I said, I don't think that was ever a guarantee that he was going to just turn into a fish.
It's like everyone's holding Steve accountable.
I just thought it would have been cool.
I think some of the things they brought up are like, maybe it's just the way I read One Piece. It's like, I don't need to see more than a page or a panel of Eris and Rocks getting together. Like, he can't get Shaggy, so we got to move on here. But I can't think of anything that I don't feel satisfied with.
And, well, maybe action too, but like Oda really is like, yeah, you got to fill in the gaps there. I got bigger fish to fry here. I'm not doing a whole chapter dedicated to a Rocks and Garling fight, which it's kind of unfortunate, but I guess I think there's a lot of chapters where I feel like Oda's like, the anime's gonna do this. So
anything to make Garling look like a bum, though, I can get behind.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, let's go to some emails. One is a suggestion for a new trivia segment, so if I indeed take that up, I will go through that later. But we have a longish one from Sai, who says, thanks for the recommendations. I was curious. This is follow up from last week, I think. I was curious if there were any prior. Oh, so this person stopped listening to our show, I think in like episode 500 or something, and we're almost up to 900 now, and is looking for episodes to go back on. So that's the first part of the question. I'm not going to rehash that, though. I also want to clarify in regards to Pell last time that I wasn't particularly pushing awakening as an explanation for his survival, more so that Pell went through a deadly experience, much like Luffy atop Onigashima, and in the aftermath made a strong connection that led to his awakening. I'm not going to read this whole thing because there's a lot, and I don't think it's I think it's well thought out. But it's a lot of going through last time. Also, in episode 583 of our podcast entitled "The Big Cannoli," in relation to Shokugeki no Sanji and the Boichi Zoro versus Mihawk redraw. Wow, this really takes me back. I've always been enamored with the intersection betwixt the fictional martial arts of One Piece. So I would love a side story displaying that diversity, maybe something during Robin's 2 years with the Revolutionaries, while learning Fishman karate from Koala, dealing with the Rokushiki wielding Cypher Pole or Marines or other martial artists. The mangaka is what's tripping me up, though. We're years past Araki's Ripple and Spin days, but his modern art still remains impeccable. Tatsuya Endo of Spy Family definitely would be solid for the kind. Okay, so he's talking about other mangaka who could potentially redraw something. That's a good question. Are there any mangaka that you think would be fun to redraw a chapter or a scene in One Piece that you could think of?
I mean, Yusuke Murata. Yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah,
that's easy peasy. But the guy who does Sakamoto Days, because that's coming to an end soon, getting a nice redraw of just
I could
chapters
see that.
of a fight, well,
sometimes
like they wanted martial arts explained. Like I don't know if I misunderstood what that.
I think it was several different points here is how I was getting it, but maybe I think they're suggesting if we got another side story like we did with Shokugeki no Sanji, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I would want one. I think he was saying, or they were saying about martial arts. So,
which I agree. I feel like that'd be right up the alley of the guy that does Sakamoto Days.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Fujimoto disciple, if I remember.
Oh, really?
I believe so. Him, the guy from Spy Family, and then the person that does Down It On. I think we're all
Fujimoto
Fire Punch.
Is, yeah.
Chainsaw Man, yeah.
That's what I thought, yeah. There's a lot of, there's so many good. Urasawa is never going to do a One Piece thing, but I know we gushed on him last time, Golfer, yeah.
It'd have to be all political. It'd have to be all, because he doesn't,
No, you're right. It's not action.
Fight.
It would be, there's plenty of One Piece stuff that fits that. I'm just trying to think of like a good one. I feel like
Maybe
most
more background on
flashbacks.
Croc
Yeah.
taking over Alabasta. Like if we just
Ooh.
got kind of like an insert of how he took over the kingdom. Same thing with Doflamingo. Like
Doflamingo would be a lot of dialogue, yeah, or inner
Yeah.
monologue. Doflamingo does feel like Araki, and anything with Doflamingo actually sounds pretty perfect
mhm.
because he's flamboyant, ridiculous, and and monologues a lot, and that feels like a JoJo anyone to me. That is, what would I have Urasawa do? And what is like the most talky thing in One Piece? I am trying to think.
The Reverie.
Yeah, he could just do the Reverie. That's true.
Everybody's got big noses.
Yes. Everyone's got very specific types of noses. Yeah. They're all very European. Oh God. I want to get my hopes up. Oh, we were talking about Witch Hat Atelier a little between the segments, and I think that author is incredible too. And I'd love to see what would be, you know what? Even like this recent Elbaf stuff with Emu and those like devil powers might be fun in that style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta think on that. I'm just looking at my shelf. There's so many good manga artists. We could talk about that question for a really long time. But instead, I'm gonna take us all the way up to Blue Sky Pia, which is our Blue Sky questions. Since we had a few. First comes from Victor Warmergard, who says, "What are we thinking about Yamato? Is he finally joining Luffy? Will he eat more dango? What's next for Best Boy?"
They're going to start their own YouTube channel and a Patreon.
True Gen Alpha. Actually, isn't he like much older than a lot of the Straw Hats? He's like 30 something.
He's
like closer
26?
to my age, I think. No, I thought he was in his 30s.
Closer to Jinbei than Luffy?
No, I don't know about that.
I thought Yamato was late
Jinbei's
20s.
40?
No, I thought Jinbei was in his 60s. Jinbei age, One Piece. 46. Okay. I don't like how I'm getting so close to Jinbei's age. All right, next question. Scotty Beveridge said, "How bummed are you that we didn't get to see..." Okay, the Magikarp Kaido flop around God Valley. We get it. You like Steve. We get it. Ice Fisher Tenacity says, "What a week. New York Comic Con showed off the Elbaf fits, more English dub, and now God Valley's main event. Question, what are your hopes for the next cover story in 2026, which is probably when it's going to be? Edison in Witheria, Sentomaru, maybe Sword." Sentomaru's still alive? I always ask this question and I'm never sure of the answer.
I don't think he's dead.
Is Sword too important to get a cover story at this point? Like what they're doing?
I'm going to be honest.
Too important.
I still don't get what Sword is really supposed to be.
Oda having his cake and eating it too.
Yeah.
They quit the Marines, but
they didn't.
But they didn't.
They can ignore orders, and I'm like, this is
this is BS.
It's a little sloppy. I wasn't really a fan of the reveal there. I was like, they secret resistance within the Marines. So
they're not.
They're not.
Like,
they're just like
they still uphold the world government. Like they still believe in it.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered if Oda kind of always knew how nasty the world government is, but how conflated the Marines in the world government would become. Even then, even chapter 4, you already have Axe Hand Morgan. So I don't know. I feel like he's trying to give Kobe something so that when, the inevitable Luffy v Kobe moment happens, it's not world government versus Luffy. It's Kobe's idea of justice versus.
That's a good point. I think that's.
Which, great, you want to have actual justice, but you wear the badge that slaves identify you as their slaver.
Next cover story. What are thoughts? I do agree with that whole discussion, but
I guess it's gonna be something Egghead related. Sentomaru wouldn't be a shocker there.
I think Edison would be awesome. I love Edison.
Edison's body blew up.
No, he made a new body. You don't remember?
Oh yeah, the weird the Tinker Toy, not Tinker Toy, but the weird
that's mashed together
pieces.
Yeah, that's mixed together a lot.
I forgot about that.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, well, it hasn't happened in the anime
was dead this
yet.
whole time. I thought it was just
Edison. It was just Edison and Lilith. What happened to York? I legitimately don't
She
remember.
went to Marijois, if I remember correctly.
She did? Okay.
They talk about taking her.
Okay, so it's just the three of them that are alive, as far as I know.
Well, they all exist within
True.
Lilith.
That's true too. Yeah.
And don't forget, there's the big Vegapunk clone in the.
Oh
in the
yeah.
cube.
Now the question is that ever going to actually happen with everything going on right now?
It's a shame. We've already seen what Vegapunk looks like as a child because of Bonnie's powers. So the anticipation of seeing
adorable is what you're gonna
little baby Vegapunk,
little baby Einstein, which is also a brand.
I think if we got the Edison, because the whole thing about them both being connected to Punk Records, but like shut off from each other, like how York knows that information, she's still a Vegapunk, and then Lilith is still a Vegapunk and still has Punk Records. Like maybe it can give us some clarity on like how the world government can't just have York tell them where the Straw Hats are, like because they all know the same information. Like, do they all record it at the same time? That's one thing about like both of them being connected to Punk Records. I'm still a little confused about.
Edison would be my answer to the cover story question, and the Punk Records is so different now that it's literally in the cloud. Although it was in the cloud before, I guess too, but now it's really in
because
the
cloud is somebody else's computer at the end of the day, somebody else's brain.
Oh, I meant a literal cloud, but yes, that too. Heem says, after this, it seems likely to me that Rox will be turned into a demon, and that's the reason. I think Domi Reversi is what they mean specifically. And that's the real reason Garp and Roger fight him, making the whole Hero of the Navy story based on a lie. With that in mind, how do you think Garp is able to remain in the Navy after literally fighting Emu? We actually don't know if he does literally fight Emu. I'll say that. But yeah, thoughts?
Sorry, I missed out on that. What happened?
How does Garp... this is more of what Golfer, I guess, is saying, but how does Garp able to remain in the Navy after literally fighting Emu? And we did kind of touch on this, but we don't know if he does.
We don't.
We shall see.
I think I guess there's been a little bit of Garp backlash for like, man, he knows all this stuff and he's a bootlicker, but I'm still waiting.
Of course he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a cop. But I'm waiting to see how this plays out because I guess he's seeing all this stuff. I
want to give him some charity in this moment for all this kind of stuff. It's just it still feels hard to know that he sticks around after this, and like, what are his actions here, and why does he like not want to talk about it so much? Like, what does he do? He sees all of this happen. He sees these 3 or 4 people going up against literally like. He's freaking out seeing dead slaves everywhere and dead civilians. And now he sees like a demonic presence with like crazy hockey. Like, and then you clock back in the next day. Like, let's see how he like goes through God Valley. And I'm praying we get the dragon interaction. Like I need his son to hold him to account.
I agree, but I will add that, and this is not this is not being an apologist for Garp, but I am pretty sure in his mind, after whatever happens and transpires, that he thinks he is doing the right thing. Like, just how Oda has written this character so far. Mm-hmm. He thinks he is doing the right thing in as good a way he possibly can. Like, he is trying to work within a system that he knows is fundamentally not just flawed, but fundamentally evil. And I think he's like, okay, either I do this within the system, or I try and become a pirate or a revolutionary and a criminal, like as he's seen it his entire life. Like, I think for him, I think that's the internal debate that he has, and it does not make him a good guy for doing that,
makes him an interesting character.
Absolutely. That's kind of why, look, like, if I want my Garp to be perfect, like, if I want him to be like a good guy, period, that's one thing. But I think it is a much more interesting character study to do someone who means the best as he possibly can, but does it so imperfectly that he ends up supporting a system that subjects people to the worst of mankind just by where he is. And he's like kind of given there's no real good choice for him at this point in his career as far as he's concerned. Like, what does he do? Dragon is to be fair to Dragon, in a very different point. He just joined, like he's brand new. Like, what does he have to lose compared to Garp, I guess?
Other than his life.
Yeah, which he's willing to sacrifice, but it's like there's less baggage for him, though tons of it. But like for Garp, he like, this is my career, I've done this my whole life, this is what I know, this is what I love for whatever reason. But oh shit, this is happening, what do I do now? It's interesting. I don't agree with his decision at the end of the day, but I think it's really interesting. Yeah. Which is what you want. That's all I got for Piece Together, so why don't we round off the show? This has been episode 888 of the One Piece podcast. Triple eights. There's a joke there, I'm sure. I don't know. Thank you all for coming on the show this week. As we mentioned, the manga will be off next week. The current plan is to do an episode devoted to the symbols of One Piece being used through protests throughout the world. I have been myself and Dr. Gomez. We've been doing a lot of research and just like diving into it along with other members of our crew. It's like, I think last week we had said something like, it's not surprising that the One Piece as a symbol has been latched onto by Gen Z and revolutionaries and leftists and so on and so forth. That makes sense given the story particularly. But the word I think I've been using to describe it is still stunning to see. Like, so far, just for a little taste for next week, it's been going on in Indonesia, Nepal. There were protests about Palestine and also about social programs and stuff in France and Italy. It's been, wait, here, I have a whole thing here. Madagascar, Italy, France, Philippines, Morocco, Mexico, Ecuador, Brazil, the US, Peru, and others. Like, that's just, the beginning of the iceberg. This is just what I've been able to find with my own research so far. And it's just been, it's stunning is the only word I have for it, because it's like, I'm not shocked that it is a resonant symbol. I'm just shocked that One Piece is at the point where it is that resonant symbol. So we'll be talking about that in a lot more depth next week, and please continue to check out our social media and stuff for updates on that. We also in the coming weeks will be doing our usual thing. But before we go, Golfer, where could people find you?
You can find me on TikTok at Golfer Gare Bear.
Marianne, where could people find you?
On the hell site known as Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky, though I've been forgetting to post there. Whoops. As Marianne D. Hobbit.
And Steve, where could people find you?
You can find me at my website, steveyurko.com, social media, Blue Sky, Instagram, etc. It's my name, Steve Yurko. Listen to me on Percy Plays Games over on YouTube. Listen to 4Kids Flashback. And yeah, that's it.
And please, I'm on Blue Sky. You can check me out if you want. I occasionally post ZachLogan.com. You can check out the podcast at OnePiecePodcast.com, Patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. Anywhere you get your podcasts, look for One Piece Podcast. And you could check us out on social media anywhere you get that. Also at One Piece Podcast, including Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, and the rest. Am I forgetting anything? Check us out at Patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. Steve,
once again,
stickers.
I'll plug the sticker club. You have till this Friday to vote on the Robin or the Emmett sticker. And if those stickers intrigue you and you haven't signed up for a Patreon yet, you have all month, the rest of this month to sign up for that. But you only have till this Friday to vote on which one's getting made. So if this interests you, don't sleep on it.
And there'll be another month next month to get more stickers.
There will be.
Well, that's to be seen. So we'll see you next week, everyone. My name is Zach.
And my name is Steve.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Toodles.